now we're coming to a phase, a period, an epoch, a return, a revealing, a revelation, a revolution, a returning. And what's being revealed to us is the truth. And that is what I call Heartism, right? Where we're connected to our heart. We've got a new level, a higher level of consciousness that allows us to see everything everywhere all at once and recognize, remind ourselves, remember the truth, which is that we're all inextricably connected. What's the other option? Keep warring, keep fighting, keep the conflict, keep destroying each other, keep destroying our planet until there's nothing left. Okay, so we are back. Everything everywhere all at once, finding meaning and certainty in all the chaos and mayhem all around us. And in the last episode, we were talking about how we're going from separatism to heartism, right? So this separatism theology, this belief that we're right, you're wrong, you've got a religion, we've got a religion, ours is right, yours is wrong, all this fighting, all this conflict, this theology of separation leads to a cosmology of separation where you're you, I'm me, we're separate, you've got stuff you want, I've got stuff I want, and we're going to have to compete for this stuff, is derived from a theology of separation. Then from a cosmology of separation, that leads to a sociology of separation, right? Where, you know, in a social setting, again, we're competing for things. We're not a sense of community or community, right? We don't have a sense of community so much as a sense of mistrust because we believe that we're separate from each other. And of course, that leads to a pathology of separation. And so we want to get back to the truth, which is we're all part of the same oneness, where everything comes from and returns to and is while we're here, right? And that is what I call Heartism, right? Where we're connected to our heart. We've got a new level, a higher level of consciousness that allows us to see everything everywhere all at once and recognize, remind ourselves, remember the truth, which is that we're all inextricably connected. And when we can come from that heart-centered place, like the ancient says, live from the heart, speak from the heart, live a heartfelt life, we're going to have more peace in our world. What's the other option? Keep warring, keep fighting, keep the conflict, keep destroying each other, keep destroying our planet until there's nothing left. I don't know. Which would you prefer? I'm going to guess, if you're still with me, you want to create a reality, a world of unity, community, where we recognize that we're all in this together. We're all a part of the whole. What I do for you, I also do for me. What I fail to do for you, I also fail to do for me. And we start living true to ourselves, being who we really are. And that's the greatest dare. The ultimate dare is to be who we really are in the presence of others and not be afraid and to transcend fear. So, well, why have we been going through all this? Because we wanted to. What? Yes, we wanted to. We wanted to have these experiences so we could come back to being who we are and experience it again as though for the first time. Yeah. So we're going through this transition, this evolution, evolution. Evol is love backwards. We're going back to love. We're not going towards it. We're going back to it because that's who we really are. In essence, we are love. We are love made real. Yeah. And so we need to learn to give our love unconditionally. What does that mean? It means without condition. Who can do that? You can. How do you know? Because I'm psychic. It's because it's in our nature, right? Because if God can love unconditionally, then so can we. Because we're a part of God, not apart from God. Yeah, I know. It's getting complicated. Look, we're creating a new religion, if you please. Religion, the word religion is derived from the word reglio or religare, and it just means to bind back and make whole. And so the purpose of any religion should be to bind us back to our creator, whether you call that God, the universe, Bill, it doesn't really matter. You know, I say, it does matter to me. Okay, well, if it matters to you, it matters to you. But I don't think, I know But God doesn't really care what we call God, because God is beyond ego, right? If God had an ego, we wouldn't be here. So God loves us unconditionally. That means without condition, no matter what we do, we're down here having experiences. We are the senses that give God pure delight. And so now we're coming to a phase, a period, an epoch, a return, a revealing, a revelation, a revolution, a returning. And what's being revealed to us is the truth. Even though Jack Nicholson doesn't think we can handle the truth. Yes, we can. We're awakening to the truth of who we really are. It's a little scary because we're not going to have anybody to blame. So when we talk about a new religion, we're not talking about a religion where we're going to have a master or a deity or someone or something to worship. We have to come to the realization, see with our real eyes, our heart and intuition, that we are the guru. We are the master. We are the master of our own destiny. We're creating it anyway, unconsciously. So when would now be a good time to open our eyes, our heart and our intuition and see that we are the answer. We are our ancestors who left us all these clues. Yes, we've been through this many times, many lives and many masters. All right. So now, as we tap into who we really are, the God within us, the creative force, the unified field that is in us and all around us, and we connect to it, we really are unlimited. And that all this technology outside of us, as I've said many times, and I'm going to say it again, is simply reflections of the inner potential that lies within us. We walk through the hall of mirrors. All of this is a mirror of internal potential. All our relationships are mirrors of us and our judgments and our past loves and our parents and all these things. We're seeing them all around us. And they're all opportunities for us to see ourselves and to heal those things that need to be healed and enjoy the bliss of being. This is the revelation. So to get to the point where we're able to do all that, we have to walk through hell, right? They say, the difference between, religion and spirituality is religion is about not having to go to hell, and spiritual people have already been there, so they know already. It's a joke. But the point is, we need to transcend some hurdles, some challenges, some healing. Now, these healings will not come from us trying to force them by resisting them. They'll come because we transcend them. They no longer make sense anymore. Just like the 10 commandments are really the 10 commitments, right? Thou shalt not steal. Well, you don't want to not steal because you're afraid not to steal, right? You're not going to steal because you don't want to anymore. You won't want to do those things because they won't represent who you are. You won't want to harm other people, do wrong to other people, because it just won't interest you. You will recognize that what you do to them, you do to yourself. These wars that we are involved in, these conflicts that we're involved in, are not real. We're making it all up, right? We live in a world of make-believe. We're made to believe things and they become true. And that's what I'm going to be pointing out here in the Great Revealing. So in this heart-centered world, which is going to have this pretty red ring around it, especially at Christmas time, right? But in this heart-centered world, we're still going to have challenges. We're still going to have conflict. We're not going to agree on everything. We're not going to get to this, nirvana or whatever. I mean, it will be in a sense that we're going to have peace and harmony to the greatest extent. But our differences are something we'll revel in. When we have debates, and we will have debates, and we will argue, and we will not always agree, but those are the catalysts to change, right? When any new idea comes along, first of all, it's crazy. And slowly it's challenged, and that's a good thing. Like we're going through these phases of these new ideas coming into our existence, which challenge everything, and they seem crazy. I'll give you an example, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. People are like, this is ridiculous because it's so out there in comparison to the way we've lived our life and what we've had in the past. And people tend to resist change, right? Because it's scary. We're stepping into what? The unknown. So we've got to become comfortable being uncomfortable and realizing that our lives begin at the end of our comfort zone. When we get comfortable, we stop learning, we stop growing. We just want things to be the same. But the reality is there's only one constant in the universe, and that is change. So this new religion is self-expression empowerment. See? It's not scary. Well, it is scary because we're not going to be able to blame a deity or argue over deities anymore. Argue over you're right, I'm wrong, because you're in charge. You are the deity. Yeah, not me. No, thank you. Do not want that responsibility. I got enough challenges on my own, right? So self-expression empowerment, and that is how we create miracles. Now, we create those miracles by being committed to our beliefs, committed to our values, and having conviction. See, it goes belief, conviction, and then what? Faith. You see, ultimately, it's faith that will set us free. Your freedom, the amount of freedom you have is directly reflected by the amount of faith you have. You see, as we go into this heart-centered world, we have to have faith in the answers we get from our heart and intuition, because you're not going to have any evidence. You're just going to have this knowing that this is the right thing to say or do, and you're going to have to go with it. Yes, it's going to take practice. No, it's not an overnight job, because we've been going in the reverse for so long. Like I've mentioned so many times, the Yupik elders tell us that we live in a reverse society, or the inside-out society. We've gone backwards. We've let the brain control our lives when really it should be the heart, right? So let's take a look at a few things here just real quick. We were talking in the last episode about how these wars that are happening for money, right? Like Socrates said, all wars are fought for money. All right, good. All right, so all wars are fought for money, right? And we were talking about this war in the Ukraine. And we said this war in the Ukraine is being fought for money because we are providing them with weapons, right? And we're giving them a loan to do that. The weapons are being sold to them by, companies like Raytheon and others, right? And all these arms companies, the military, industrial complex is owned by Blackstone, right? Blackstone, State Street, and Vanguard own 89% of our stocks, our companies, right? Of our stock market, right? So they have that power. Blackstone is a $10 trillion company, right? Its CEO is a guy called Larry Fink, who is also a member of the World Economic Forum that meets in Davos every year, where all the billionaires go, and they sit down and they talk about how the world is going to be in the future, all right? And what they say, their kind of phrase is that we're going through the Great Reset, and that after the Great Reset, which apparently is when they own everything, that we will own nothing, but we'll still be happy. Okay, now that might be true, but it's happening kind of subvertly, isn't it? I mean, they haven't come out and actually said they're going to take everything from us and then we're going to be happy with having nothing directly, right? But right now, these companies own 6% of our housing in America. They're buying hundreds and hundreds of houses, which is making it less and less economically possible for people to own their own home. 1960s, we had the 1950s, 60s, we had the GI Bill, making it easier for people to own their own home. Not anymore. as these companies buy up America, buy up the housing, they're also buying up the land, right? And land and ownership of land used to be the way for us to get a piece of the American pie. Apple pie, whatever, pumpkin, whatever. So now it's getting harder and harder to do that. These companies, State Street, Blackstone, might be another name for one of them. Blackstone and Vanguard are buying it up like crazy, right? Which is pushing the price of it, making it harder and harder. It's even harder to rent a home, which is pushing more and more people into being homeless. So what I'm trying to get at here is that we have to start to look at the cause and deal with the cause. What we're constantly dealing with as a society is the symptoms. And that's like playing whack-a-mole. I don't even know how you spell whack-a-mole, but that's my best guess. Whack-a-mole. We're not getting anywhere. And the way that we deal with the cause, you guessed it, is we're going to heal these things when nobody wants to own or rule the world anymore. Nobody wants to take things away from other people and own the mass amount of wealth themselves. It just won't feel good. We won't want it. We won't need it because we don't. But we'll come to that realization, that revelation. So this is the time of revelation, the revealing of the truth. So that was a little 10-minute rant there, wasn't it? So we're going to continue this in the next session. I'm going to be just going stream of consciousness because that is where I can deliver the most information, the most power, and the most effect. And get you excited about living from the heart, speaking from the heart, living a heartfelt life, and transforming this world at the same time, transforming your own world. So until the next episode, Saper Ord, dare to be wise.